Hey guys, it's Coach John here with Philosophy of a Fighter, and today we're going to do a quick tutorial on how to throw the 360 roundhouse kick. You might know it as a tornado kick, an Autobahn kick, but we're going to be doing a 360 roundhouse kick. A 360 roundhouse kick is simply a roundhouse kick where we're turning all the way around before we throw it. So you don't want to overthink the kick itself. It's just the motion of getting to the finish line with this kick. So we know with our basic roundhouse kick, we have to pivot on the foot, we have to rotate the hips and rotate the shoulders to make solid contact. That's all true with the 360 kick as well. It's just a different setup. As an orthodox fighter, if I'm going to be throwing this 360 roundhouse kick with my right leg, there's going to be more motion to it than if I were to throw it with my lead leg. So keep that in mind. The amount of turning you're going to do is going to be dependent on which leg you're attacking with and its starting position. For example, for me to kick with my rear leg, I need to turn once 180 degrees. I need to turn twice another 180 degrees before delivering that kick, and that gives us that 360. If I was going to throw it with my lead leg, I would turn to my backside from this direction one time and then throw the kick. And so that's how we get to the finish line depending on the side you're going to. For today's video, I'm going to show it from the rear leg, and it's going to involve an extra step. At the end of the video, I'll talk about ways to set this up because it gets advanced, and some of the ways when you're learning it won't be as effective when you're throwing it in an actual match or in a fight. So you need to use the setups when possible. So when you're just starting out, I like to be in my neutral kickboxing stance. And distance isn't super important. I just want to give myself enough room to do my turns before getting to my target. The first thing I'm going to do is take my rear leg, switch to my front. And when I do this, I'm going to get on my tightrope. We say that's bad a lot of the times, but for the specific kick, I need to get to this tightrope. Once I make that first turn, I'm going to keep my now front foot, my right foot down. I'm going to turn again, moving just my left leg. And now that's planted on the ground. And from here, I'm going to finish with that kick. I'm going to do it a little quicker so you can see. Now this is a stepping version of the kick. Step, step, kick. Step, step, kick. And this is the way that I'm going to teach a beginner to get the motion down. As we get better with that, now we're going to start doing it faster, and we're going to get to do it in mid-air. So if I wanted to start in range of the bag without taking a step, and I wanted to take the same motion, what I would do from here is I would switch my feet in place, and then from here I'm going to bring this leg up and around and jump off my rear leg as I turn to hit that kick. And that's going to be step two. So from here, I'm going to switch. As I start to swing my left leg behind me, I'm going to have my right foot planted, and I'm going to jump off my right foot to hit the bag. A way to start practicing that version of the kick is going to be once you turn, lift your left leg up and kind of pivot and bounce around. And when you turn all the way around, you're going to jump off this leg and turn your hips for the roundhouse kick. So again, I'm going to turn, keep my right leg planted, spin around, and when I get around, switch my feet to throw that kick. Now, we're going to do it all in one motion. And this is where you're going to have a hop, but as you get used to rotating and knowing where your target is, it gets easier and easier. So I'm going to switch, jump off that foot, and turn in one motion. That's the basics of our 360 roundhouse kick. Now, if we want to talk advanced techniques, the more motion I take, the more time my opponent has to see it and counter me or just get out of the way. So this kick is most effective when I can corral my opponent to where my kick's going to be most successful landing. So what that means is if I'm throwing a rear leg roundhouse kick with my right leg, I'm coming around this way. So it would be helpful if my opponent couldn't move to their right, which would be my left. I don't want my opponent moving away from the kick. I would like them to move into my kick this way. So a few ways to do that. We can set it up with punches, but one of the easiest, most effective ways is to corral them into a spot where they only have one direction to go. So imagine here, this was a boxing ring. I have ropes back here, and I have ropes on my left side, my opponent's right side. If I can get somebody into the corner here, they can't move backwards, they can't move to their right or my left. They can only move out to their left. And I gave them this angle here to try to escape. Now, knowing that as a fighter, once we get here, especially when their coach is going to be telling them to get out of that corner, they're going to move this way. That's going to make it easier for me to land this kick. I can disguise it better as they're moving. I can even step to switch, or I can go ahead as they move this way, throw that kick, and now my kick has a higher percentage of landing because it can land from here all the way here because that's the only direction they can move. Another way to set up this 360 roundhouse kick would be to miss your first roundhouse kick. And what I mean by that is I might be throwing leg kicks at this person with my rear leg. They might be getting used to it, seeing it, and getting out of the way. Now again, if they try to escape, block, or even take a small step back, and I'll simulate that here, I'll throw this roundhouse kick. If they step away, I don't have to give up on my attack. From here, I go ahead and I turn. And as I do that, I'm bringing my momentum and my movement toward them with that kick. I'm not staying in place, I'm moving toward them. So if my opponent's here and I throw that kick and they take a step back, from here as I swing my left leg around, I'm closing the distance. One more time, I'm gonna throw, that kick misses, I put it down, I jump up, and I throw that 360 roundhouse kick. All right, you guys, I know that was short and we didn't get super technical with it, but I just wanted to get something out there for you guys to look at and practice. I'll do a bigger breakdown of each step of this technique in different scenarios and things like that sometime in the near future. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel, follow along, and we'll see you next time.